Welcome, everyone, to It's Time to Excel, where we inspire and we ignite the possibilities that are there. So, it's March. Yes, I don't know how it got here, but it's here. March is here. So, you always hear March Madness. So, I'm going to focus this month on some of the madness that goes along with getting the right softwares in place. Some of the madness that gets you just going nuts trying to figure out because there's too many options out there. So we're going to take some time each week and we're just going to have an opportunity to really kind of explore some of those different options that are there. So this week we are going to talk about a CRM. We've talked about this before. So what in the world is a CRM? So, of course, our CRMs are very simply a customer relationship management database. That's all. It's just a big database. It's a big database that takes the place of all those lovely sticky notes, all those lovely business cards. When we used to go in person networking, you get all these crazy cards. What do you do with them? You throw them in a shoebox, right? Of course you do. And you have stacks upon stacks upon stacks of business cards. A database is simply a way to organize that information, to organize customer and prospects, having the information at your fingertips so that when you need it or you need to call them, you can find the phone number and you don't have to chase down the sticky note that ran off with your puppy. Just a thought. So let's talk about this. So, what does specifically a CRM do for us? Of course, the biggest and most benefit of a CRM is that database that houses contact information, their name, their telephone number, their email. And the list is endless. What information do you need to stay in contact with these folks? Even better yet, when do you need to call them the next time? When do you need to follow up? You've heard it before. Follow up is the key. Follow up and being able to reach back out is crucial. So, how do you do that? A CRM is a great tool to be able to do that. It helps you to track some information. Where did you meet these people at? That's another field that I use in mine. Where did I meet you? If you're out and attending a bunch of different events, sometimes it gets a little crazy to remember where you met who. I don't know. My brain doesn't work quite that good anymore. One time I can remember, this older thing as I get, sometimes it gets a little more fuzzy on where I've met folks until I really get to know them. And when you can do this, you can start seeing and making better decisions. Boy, does that sound familiar? The numbers, they're data driven. It's not emotional. It's not trying to remember. It's not anything else. You can run a report out of your system that says, hey, at ABC networking event, I met 4 people. Of those 4 people, 3 of them booked a call with me. Of those 3 people, one of them become a client. All of that is tracked. Boy, that word sounds familiar, at least if you've ever dealt with me. We have tracked that information. So a CRM is just the equivalent of the contacts, like I talk about QuickBooks all the time, and your numbers. You need to have a tool in your tool belt that's going to help you be more effective, be more streamlined, simply be able to find the information. Because ultimately, you're going to provide better customer service. You're going to have some analytics that are there. So, what all do I mean by that? I personally use Zoho CRM. What in the world is that? Zoho is just a tool. It's one of the tools that I have used for years. And I started out when I was with Mary Kay. And I could send emails out to my group of my clients. And I could do it in an efficient manner because I could mass email. It allowed me that option. And one of the other things that I really liked about Zoho, which is a plus and minus, but what I really like about Zoho is it's customizable. Like I could pick and choose and I can add unique fields that are specific to me. I could add unique tags. There's a lot you can do. Sometimes that's good or bad. But there's a boatload of CRMs out there, and I really want to just encourage you. If Zoho's not the answer for you, find a CRM. Get some type of a database. Get it written down. You know my deal. It can be as simple as a spreadsheet. I mean, yes, you could write it down, but those sticky notes tend to get lost. But you could be into an Excel sheet, a Google sheet. I mean, if that's where you got to start where you're at. Start where you're at and get the information. At a minimum, you need to have the person's name, the person's email, the person's phone number. And you need to have that in a centralized location where you can get your fingers on it so that you can set yourself up a task on your calendar, whatever system you're using, so that you remember to call these people. The CRM just makes that easier because it's a tool in your tool belt. But of course, what's the best tool? What's the best system? What's the best for you? It's simply the one you're going to use. So that being the case, let's go ahead and take an opportunity to kind of poke around Zoho just to expose you a little bit with it. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen and see what all we can talk about here a little bit. So as we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Zoho. And this is just my playground. That's all it is. It's just a little playground. So we're going to go poke around here a little bit and see how Zoho can give us information. I mentioned tags. It's just a grouping. So in my world, you're either Excel. If you're part of my BNI, I have you listed as my gold miners because that happens to be the. So I can do different things, Mary Kay. So you can see I can start grouping. It's just a way for me to pull information. So that's an option. But most importantly, I have the name. I have right here, you can see the name. And the cool thing about Zoho that I liked is if I met somebody and I got a business card from them, I could scan that business card and they would drop right on over into my CRM. Save me some typing, save me some manual keying. I'm all for that because I don't like to key. Anybody knows me knows I don't like to key and I really don't like to key more than once. That being the case, in this case, you can see my source was the web. So what this little test pilot was doing was I created a form through Zoho Form. And that's the other thing I liked about Zoho is I could pick and choose the pieces and the modules that I wanted to connect. So I tend to use Zoho Form. I use Zoho Sign for my documents, and I use Zoho CRM. So they all talk to each other, which is a cool little option. So this came in from the web, which means it was one of my forms. So as I'm out networking and things have become virtual, I just provide a link and say, hey, if you'd like to, get connected, here's my link, fill out this. It takes a few seconds. Give me your name, your email, phone number, so that we can connect. And that means that they found this particular one from the web because that's my coding behind so that I know that that's where this came from. In my world, I also, so if the phone number was entered, it would have dropped into that one. So we can have a phone number in there. And then the cool thing, if you're using the app on your phone with Zoho, what you can do is you pop up Zoho in your phone in the app and you click on this person and I can click the little phone down at the bottom and it'll call them for me. It uses my phone to call them. And then the cool reminder is when I finish that phone call, it'll pop up a box that says, would you like to record this? So it gives me an option to record notes. What happened in that call? Where did we talk about anything specific? Do I need to set up a follow-up? I'm prompted to do that. And that makes it kind of nice because sometimes you forget, you get a little sidetracked or the next little fire has to get put out as you're going. But this is Zoho, so it gives you an opportunity. I use what I call my filter between monthly or quarterly. So if I'm sending out a monthly email, then maybe I stick them under monthly. You can start to see where I can start really diving in and figuring things out of what I want to do. Different fields that I put in here trigger different workflows. Fields that I put in here trigger the next step. And I can build all that in within the CRM itself, which makes it a little bit simpler for me because now I am setting up steps. I am being consistent. Consistency where I don't have to think about what the next steps are because I've already got that built out make a huge difference. The more that you can set up and automate. That's your biggest benefit with a CRM is you can automate some of the standard tasks. What can they be? For example, let's go back to just when we're out networking. I get a business card. Fabulous. I snap it. I make sure everything's good to go, and I can click a button right on my phone that says, send them an email. So I said, hey, it was great to meet you at, I can build this in a template so that when I go and I put this template on my phone, it pops it over there and it says, hey, we've met at wherever that was. Sends them a nice little email with my contact information. That's the first touch. I do that the minute that I get the card. Makes it simple. That's what we're looking for. And then also what you can do is if it's a form that they're filling out, within Zoho CRM, I can set up a workflow which simply says, when I get a new name, send them nice to meet you email. Automation, one of the biggest tools that you have. And this also, you can see that I have a bunch of different things. If we have a scheduled meeting, I put a date in here and a time in here. It sends a reminder email that says, hey, looking forward to meeting you at on at 11 o'clock at via Zoom. Here's the link. So it gives us options to be able to do that. In my world, you guys know I talk a lot about QuickBooks. So you're interested in QuickBooks. Is it more Microsoft Excel? So this is kind of helping me to drive what folks are looking for. And then I can run reports on that. And then I'm able, like if I have an Excel class that I'm going to be teaching, I'll come into here and figure out who was interested in Excel, and I'll send them an email, let them know something's coming. Same thing with QuickBooks. If I do a Zoho and I have a special class coming up, by having this information and tracked, I can reach out specifically to those that were asking about it. That's a benefit of having this tool in place. Is it worth the investment? Because there's usually a little bit of a fee to it. Depends on what level, depends on what bells and whistles, depends on what you're looking for. But you need the tool. You need the tool. If you're in business, you've got to have a way to reach out to folks, to be able to connect with folks, and to be able to track that. It's the only way you can keep things straight. That is the way it works. And we know this. And this is a great option to be able to do that. I can even come through. You got your address information. You can go with the big, I can put notes. So let's say that we had a little conversation and I found out that you have a dog. Okay, we'll just put Winston in here because he just kind of walked by not too long ago. I can put little notes, little triggers for me. And when I save that, the cool thing is, guess what? Now I have that. So when I come in and I look at Janet, guess what? I now have some information to trigger my mind on what's going on. If I went ahead and I did emails and I sent out an email, they list here for me. Campaigns. Did I have something set up? Walking through. We can connect our Zoho signs. We can do surveys. All of these different things interconnect. And it makes it very simple because now I have everything about this client in one little place, everything about this lead in one little place, so that I'm not chasing things down, trying to figure it out and figure out what directions. If I had uploaded a picture of their business card because I scanned it, guess what? That picture gets right under attachments and I have access to it, making things much easier. They even have a locate map on here now, so you can come through. This particular one, I know, took advantage of this. Probably was one of my tests for the money guide that I offer. Discover the guide to discovering money you did not know you had. This tells me that's the freebie that was taken advantage of. So as I set up different things, and I know we have a conversation, I know that you've downloaded it. A great follow-up is, what was the biggest takeaway you had? Which one hit home with you more? What would you like to learn more about? It's now bringing all this information in front of me. Did they attend a workshop? Some of the different workshops that I do. I can tag it there so I know that you've attended a workshop. You can start to see that there's so many different things that are here. You can send that email. I mentioned about that. If I hit the send email button, it brings it up, and guess what? I have just a basic template, so if I want to free form it, I can do that. But maybe I want to already do a pre-filled out template. There's all different kinds of things, so let's just pick on one here. and pull it. And guess what? Remember how I said I can do it right from my phone? I can do it right from here as well. And it just personalized a little bit. Hey, it was great to talk to you. And of course, this one was a web one, so this may not be the best choice, but I think you're starting to see what makes sense. And you can start customizing that and send them a link to a virtual coffee break. There you go. Hey, let's get to know more. Click here. But it's automated and it's quick and it's consistent. And that's what's possible when you get a good CRM in place. And the whole kit and caboodle is, and I can schedule this to go out in whatever days. Being organized is crucial. Having a system and a tool in place is crucial if you want to be successful. So looking at that, okay, what else can we do? Well, one of the other biggest thing is, what if I have a task? Maybe I want to set up a task. How do I do that? Well, that's an activity. So if I come down here to my activities, I can add new task. I can add a call. I can add a meeting. All of that is at my fingertips. And here's the task. What is my task? My task is to call. I make mine really, really simple. Call. Well, when do I need to call? I need to call on the 14th. That being the case, fabulous. All right, is it high, medium? I can start putting things in here. Do I want an email reminder? Fabulous. Do I not? If I don't, then take it off. Do I want, let's just say done. Okay, I got that. I really don't want that. Is it going to be repeated? I use my more fields. I'll come down here and put a quick description. Follow up on money guide. Does something for me. So that when I come in here, I can see it. I can see that, and I'm going to get that on my taskbar. And there it is right there. How about that? Very simple. When I actually come in here and do this, I can come in here and log information, my notes, attaching it. When I close this task and say it's done, do I need to send up another one? Do I want to send them an email? Everything is right here at my fingertips. Do I need to invite them to a meeting? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Making it very, very simple. When I close this task, guess what? I get a note that says, do you want to add a follow-up one? Yes, you do. What is the next step? Put a task out there and organize it so that when you come into your dashboard, you can actually see it. This is the power of a CRM. This is Zoho. I wanted to give you an introduction to it. I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of see what a CRM can do for you. Why is it important to invest in it? Because should you? Absolutely. And why should you? Because you want to set yourself up for success. You need to be making data-driven decisions. You need to be having information at your fingertips. And this is the way to do it. So what is it? It's simply a customer relationship management tool that is necessary for you to invest in to make your life as an entrepreneur a little more streamlined. And whatever one you choose is perfectly fine. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about Zoho, I'd love the opportunity to talk a little bit more with you. And you're welcome to schedule a chat. And I'm going to attempt very hard to stop sharing because obviously, for whatever reason, my computer has decided to get weird again. And it doesn't want to let me get down here and stop the share. That happened last time too. It's very interesting and I can't explain why. It really will not do that. All right, well, really has got to stop sharing. I apologize for that. That was just really weird. My mouse is acting weird. It will not stop sharing. Well, lovely. Nonetheless, as we're coming through here, wanting to take that opportunity to share with you a little bit, to say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what a CRM can do for you. Because you know what? You can go crazy trying to figure out what all of these options are, what options you have out there. Why do you even need to think about these options? So hopefully today it was a little bit clearer on the March Madness as we focus in on different tools and software that are available for you to be able to run your business more efficiently and effectively. Great to see everyone today, and we look forward to seeing you here next week. Have a wonderful day. And it's not even going to let me end the broadcast. This is just going to be a fabulous day. Stop sharing. There we go. Yay, we're off and running again. That was a challenge. Have a good one, everyone.